Welcome, everyone. My name is Ryan, and we are back with more Unreal World today. We are journeying through the winter wonderland here in Iron Age, Finland. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new, I've got a link to the playlist down in the description, but we're trying to survive in the harshest climate possible. But we are on the day 6 of the 10th week before summer season, so we're counting down towards early spring, although it's still very cold out. Although our gear has definitely improved since we started our series here, and it's only getting better. That's right, we just came off of a really nice kill in the last episode, so I'm currently carrying about 140 pounds of skin and meat. So what we're going to do is drop that right here in the shelter, including the fat. I don't like to leave it behind, but we have to abandon it for now, safe and sound, but we need to get right back out. Oh, I just noticed there was a fox right there as I zoomed out. Did you guys see him? I'm going to have to set a trap for him. He's been kind of a little nuisance here. I wanted to leave him around kind of as a camp mascot, but yeah, he's already eaten some of the fat, which was intended for some leather making. But as we move here to the southeast, yeah, there's a red X just further ahead, which we will find our gear and the rest of the kill. Fortunately, I couldn't keep it with me. Couldn't carry it, essentially. There it is, the red X. Okay, we're encountering other animals and wildlife as we go, but not to worry. Let's see if we can pick this up. Beautiful, and we are still able to travel, although we're a bit weighted down. Nonetheless, we can move, so that's what's important. You can see the list of the things we had to leave behind. It was a big kill, you know. Not surprising, our boy Consolus, here he is in his physical performance, is a rather strong character, but he's kind of lightweight. I mean, honestly, 183 pounds is a pretty big guy, but you can get much bigger. I think I've seen people as big as like 270 something pounds on the really heavy end, but of course that big size means they can carry more, essentially. You know, the strength bar means more on a large character is kind of how I interpret it. But either way, we're not diminishing what Consolus is capable of, because at this point he has survived against all odds. Let's delete that mark because it's no longer required, and we're going to zoom right back, hopping and skipping over the hares and squirrels because they're not of interest to us. We are only focused on the big game here this time. And in fact, there's a reason for that. We're trying to accumulate a nice little stockpile of trade goods that we will be able to take south and do some trading with the Drick culture. If you've been watching up to this point, you know, I've mentioned several times they're the richest culture here in the general region of the Iron Age Finland, but we don't have really enough to make the trip worthwhile for me. And, oh, I almost forgot too. I got so distracted in our last couple episodes with hunting and finding hidden treasure. We do have an order with the blacksmith. Yeah, for a shovel, placed 6 days ago, so it's probably not quite ready. But, and it, you know, we'll need to trade for that too and provide some sort of payment. But the shovel won't be really useful to us until the spring thaw. But I'd like to get it, you know, have it here at the campsite ready to go. Because once we do get that shovel, we'll be able to make a cellar and even dig some trap pits, which are really great. But, all right, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. What we are going to do is pick up the skin that I dropped a moment ago. There we go. And let's get the fat too. We'll need that. Boom. I think we're going to go ahead and just turn this right into a fur. Yeah. Oops. Let me go ahead and rest. There we go. So we're not... Oh, I need to clean it first. So we'll clean the skin. This takes a moment or two. And then we'll want to rest again. In fact, you know what I really should do is drop any of the extraneous things that I don't need, like the bones, that withy. I'll drop the actual fat, or the actual cuts, because we're not using those yet. We raided a cave too. There had been some sort of adventurer or, you know, squatter living in the cave, at least temporarily, and they left a few things behind. Oh, that's right. Also, they left this foot rag and the tunic, so we'll drop those. All right, any weight that we can get rid of during like the crafting process is important to us. So, all right, now it's time to apply the fat. It takes a couple of hours, and we're getting weary. We're definitely hungry enough to eat an elk, so let's munch. And I think it's time for bed. In the morning, we'll continue with the skin, and then it's time to dry some meat. Good morning, everybody. It is late morning, in fact, here, and we're on day 7th of the 10th week. So let's go ahead and rise from our slumber. Like I said last night, we've got more work to do immediately. So the skin is not quite ready. It says it'll be ready in a few hours. Okay, so now what I think I'm going to do is I like to prepare the meat outside of the shelter. It needs to be next to it. So I'm going to push, instead of trying to pick all this meat up, because I know it's just going to weigh me down, we're going to push the 221 pounds of cuts of the meat, and let's also push the withies. There we go. So I've got 104 spruce withies. Yeah, that's probably enough. That's like 50 pounds of cordage there. All right. Now, actually, let's have a little drink and a bite to eat. Very good. Now we'll start the laborious process. And if I pick it up in this position, there we go, I will be way down. I can't move around, but that doesn't matter at this point because this is exactly the spot that I want to dry the stuff. So there we go. I'm able to just repeat that process. Boom, boom, boom. Once you get those, oops. I was just going to say, once you get the hotkeys down, it doesn't take any trouble at all. But then, of course, I messed it up immediately. All right, and boom. There we go. Just have to repeat this about 4 more times and we'll be done with the meat. Of course, it's not going to be ready for about 2 weeks, but that's okay because we've got plenty for now. Yeah, again, the food isn't really the focus. It's the skins or the furs that we want for trading, but the food will come in handy because once we're ready to head over here and settle down, this is going to be the location of our permanent base. We're going to have a cabin here, corral with several animals and stuff. So we want to hire a bunch of the local nearby villagers to help us clear the forest and get some lumber for that. It's a big process. It takes a lot of time, but we're not quite there yet. Like I said, we've got more stages. So either way, just so you know that none of this food is going to go to waste. Most of it will be used as currency. Still here at camp, waiting on this fur. Although I've emphasized that we want to get out there and, do a lot of hunting, it's not good to leave the campsite when you've got a fur like in between stages of preparation. And we're close to done with it. So the rinsed fur will be ready by early morning. So it will be overnight. We'll have to sleep. But I've got a fun little activity we can do while we wait. So let's get a nice roaring fire. And come on, buddy. There we go. Now, in our most recent episode, actually 2 recent episodes ago, we discovered some hidden treasure. That's right. It was all thanks to a quest we did here for this lovely lady. She told us about the treasure, so we weren't just looting, but either way, one of the things we got was some grain and flour. And so we're going to make bread today. Let's see, do I have my water on me? I do. Let's fill that up, because I don't know exactly how much this recipe calls for. Might be nice to get a couple more of those bowls too filled with water, just leave them next to us so if we make more bread. But let's experiment here. So did that a little quick. Let's go to skills and then C to do cookery. Oh, and look, the little green stars indicate that we've recently leveled this up a little bit. It's a very minuscule amount. Skill progression in this game is truly like a grind. It takes a while, but we're also increasing our skiing too. As you can see, stealth has increased since we started. I can tell that tracking has gone up, ever so slightly. But either way, that's just a side note. So we'll go into cooking. That brings up our menu here. And we want the baking options. That's right. Now, in the base game, there's not a lot in some of these different... Well, there isn't a lot of cooking recipes. Unfortunately, just the flatbread. That's all we can do. There are mods that really do substitute quite a bit or supplement quite a few new recipes. Highly recommend them for the recipes alone. But, they also add a whole list of blacksmithing you can do too. So really great. They're called BAC mods. You can just Google those. You'll find them on GitHub. Unfortunately, if you own it on Steam, there is no workshop support for this game, I don't believe, but a couple of manually installed mods. It's not that difficult. But for now, let's just focus on what we've got. Okay. So it brings up the requirements here. The flour, half a pound. And of course, I've got it right here in the inventory. We've got 20 pounds of it too, in fact. So we can make a lot of bread. And there's the water, very little. And now the seasoning. I've also got these grains. I don't know if they'll work, but we'll try them. Seasoning in this game is funny because I've tried to use salt before, like in the seasoning slot, and it won't work. Salt is really pretty much just for preserving meat, but try that on your own, you know. Maybe they've changed it or certain mods might make that work, but either way, let's try the grain. No, bag of grain doesn't work as seasoning. That's okay, it's optional, so if we want, we could just hit escape and it just bypasses it. Yeah, I really don't know. There might be some herbs or something you can use as seasoning. Let me know down in the comments, anybody who's aware of that. So we will just do some plain old bread. There it is, rye flatbreads. Well, you know what? I love good rye bread. And this stuff is warm, ready to go. And where is it? Did I drop it? That's weird. Yeah, there it is. 2. Oh, we only got 2 tasty flatbreads out of that. No, okay, we had 3 delicious and 2 tasty ones. Okay, not too bad. So we'll pick those right up. Yeah. Should I do more? I don't know exactly how long they're going to last, but, well, to be quite honest, we don't need it. We have tons of meat, so let's look at some of our other recipes. What about porridge? Seed porridge. Let's try seed porridge. Give me a full quantity. We can do the grains, right? No, that doesn't count as seeds. That's all right. You know, when we visit the Drick, we could, depending on how much stuff we've got and how many kills we've got at that point to trade with, we might be able to get some seeds and even some salt and do some more experimenting with these recipes, which is something I would love to do. But, well, for right now, I think we've seen the extent of what the flour and the grain can do, which isn't much, but it's better in this form. We'll just drop the bags. It's going to stay preserved a lot longer like that, I believe. So we'll eat what little bread we prepared, and we are a bit tired. It's evening. Like I said, in the morning, we'll finish this skin, and then it's back out on the hunt. Well, it's only been 3 days since we visited the trap site. This is also where we're going to set up our permanent base, but I think it's not a bad idea to go check it. And like I said, we don't want to leave the campsite if we've got a fur, and it's not done yet. You can see it's just changed to early morning. I just woke up a bit too early, so it'll be okay if we just start over here and then return immediately. Yeah, let's move a little closer to the shore. Let's avoid climbing at all costs. Okay, yep, nothing in the traps here. Oh, you know what? I forgot to sacrifice a raw piece of meat from that elk, too. Darn it. Yeah, I was just thinking I should have brought some over here to set as bait for the traps, but then I realized I also should have done some of it with the ritual, too. But hopefully the spirits will forgive me, and we'll just have to maybe do a double sacrifice for a next one. I don't honestly know if that will really work. Here we go. The fur is complete, and it's back at the shelter, sitting nicely, waiting for us to return with more meat. And here it is, right in front of me. It's not in a great position. There's a bit of forest here and here, and it's not much because it is more or less surrounded by open, marshland, which is what I like. But it's probably enough to make this a difficult little hunt. Let's wait a moment. I do need a rest for just a bit. We can eat. We do recover stamina as we eat too, so that's a helpful little tip. Always eat and drink before you actually rest. You can kind of shorten the rest cycle a bit. All right. Yeah, the elk has moved back out into the open, so that's good for us. Okay, there he is, big bull elk. Let's take a look at him. Small bull elk. Still, it's big for us, compared to us. Now, we cannot go into stealth because it clearly sees me. In that case, I don't think I'm going to bother shooting at it. What we'll do is we'll zoom back out and we'll just spook it. There it goes. All right, actually, maybe we could get a shot off. that. Oh, I'm still carrying around that arrowhead. All right, let's try a shot at it. See if we can take out its legs or something. Nice, hit it. All right, look at it. Minor puncture in the knee, but it is walking lame, so that should help our pursuit a bit. Now, let's not forget, we need to re-wield the spears so that we don't lose the benefit of our skis. And he kind of... Well, it looks like he's going up. I'm still going to grab my arrow. There he is. All right, let's take a look at him. A little bit fatigued. Obviously still walking lame. Now, the forests that were kind of closer on the left and right, so I'd love to get him heading north. Look, he dropped some poop there on the ground right in front of us, but he's a little bit fatigued. Okay, let me see if I can get below him. Like that, and then we'll turn and, yeah, chase him kind of this direction. That's better for us, but really it's up to the animal. They will decide the direction they want to go, ultimately. Sometimes it's in your benefit, sometimes not, but... Alright, we're losing track of him here for a bit too long. Where'd he go? Where's he at? Yeah, I don't like them being out of my visual range for this long. Gives them the opportunity to rest, but... Okay, there he is. He's still a little bit fatigued. We really got to keep the pressure on him. Maybe I can get another shot. Okay, he sees me, but he's stopped. Let's move. Let's wait for him to turn away. And okay, there we go. Now I'm in stealth. I'll approach... Oh, shoot. He noticed me before. Well, at least he started to sprint. Let's just track him a bit more. I'm going to leave stealth so that we're going at our maximum speed. Keep his tracks. There he is. Still only slightly fatigued. He does see me. Okay, he's very alert. Yeah. It might be difficult to get another shot off on him, but I'm not giving up. And of course, it's not totally necessary. We could get him just by wearing him out, but... Okay, let's see. Still only slightly fatigued. Man, this one has quite an endurance on him. But maybe if we kind of travel perpendicular to him. There we go. It's looking good. He can see me. I really want to get into stealth before I shoot at him, though. Alright, there we go. So I'm stealth. Let's wield one of our arrows. It's knocked. Let's take the shot. Oh, I want to take him down. Let's try for a headshot here. Nailed him. Pierced his shoulder, though, but that could be just as good for us. Let's try the northern spear. Well, I'm sorry, let's wield the northern spear. Let's look at him. Serious puncture in the left shoulder. Now it's crippled. And it's carrying my arrow. Oh, I think I'm able to get him. Yeah, if we look at him, he's only fatigued, so he's not technically breathless, but the fact that he's been crippled now has just, like, destroyed his ability to run, so... Yep, I should be able to get into melee with him, and this might be it. Let's go for it. Not gonna rush it. We're still in stealth. I can come out of stealth, to be honest. Alright, he's giving it his all. Okay, northern spear. I always go blunt to the legs. Just try and disable the animal. There we go. Let's go blunt to the head now. Now it's unconscious. Now we can finish it off. So we'll do point to the neck. There we go. A couple more times should do it. Boom. And the animal is dead. Well, hate to celebrate, but I'm going to make a big effort to try and remember to sacrifice, like I said, maybe twice. But, oh, and I should point out that we finally got over our frostbite. Couldn't remember it for a second. We had 2 frostbite injuries on the arm, or on the fingers and the toes, but that is healed. Nonetheless, I am going to start a fire before we get this going, just because it could take like all night. Well, it is morning, but it could take most of the day. So let's fell the tree, and all right, we'll push this stuff here. There we go. Start the fire. Get the process going once again. All right, yeah, so skin it. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and rest for a moment, then do the butcher. Okay, we won't get the whole thing. Oh, we did get the whole thing. That's great. All right, there's my arrow. Pick it all up. Good. Now, hold on before we leave and start dropping stuff on the world map to allow me to travel. Let's hit the F4, bring up our sacrifice. We got to do the raw piece, so boom, there we go. Now we feel comfortable after the sacrifice. I don't want to do it multiple times in a row. That won't help us, but maybe after we've traveled back to our campsite, I'll do another sacrifice, like in the morning tomorrow. But we can leave the fire. We're a little bit tired. Let's rest. Not actually sleep, just see what kind of fatigue level we're working with. Zoom out. Check the map. We're actually really close to home, so here's what I think I'll do. Let's just drop, not that, about 100 cuts. That's guaranteed to allow me to move. Oops, almost forgot to mark it. Let's do that, because I know I will forget. All right, so the red X is there. Yep, like I said, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to our shelter, but now I'm going to store everything we've got away, return for the meat, and we'll get our second kill underway. Oh, this is interesting. I was just putting our fur through its first stages of cleaning and preparation for the tan, but look at this. There's a person up here. Vagabond Adventurer. It's not the guy that we hired. We knew his name. Yeah, and he was carrying different stuff. Well, it's not a thief or anything like that. I've encountered those people like that, like highwaymen or whatever, robbers. They usually, I've never had one like walk into my camp, but that's not what this is, at least. It's a little bit too far to talk to me. Let's go over there. Wait, how much food do I have? Actually, let's grab a bit more food. We might be able to just hire him. Might be willing to hang out here for a while. I'll grab 50 cuts. Good, we needed that. Yeah, so the skin's working. I haven't started the meat yet, but not to worry. Hello, sir. What are you doing over here? Greetings. Let's introduce him. Okay, so we know his name now. We'll go back and H. I'd like to hire a helping hand. That's fine. I can come work for you. Yep. All right, we'll give them some food. They always want food. We'll just do 10 cuts. Will probably be enough to satisfy him for now. He'll still want me to pay him a bit more, but hey, the good news is he's got an axe. Yeah, right? Yep, wooden hand axe right there. So what I'm going to do is we'll just tell him to cut down some trees for us. Fell some trees right there, buddy. Good job. Yeah, and I'm going to be sticking around the camp at least for the day or two, preparing the meats and stuff and this fur. So I'll be able to order him to cut down quite a few trees, I think, which is nice. No, that's the wrong thing. But point is, too, once we get back out of the hunt, it'll be nice to have a companion. Who knows? If we see one of those bears, we'll try and take him on. Because like I've said before previously, dogs will be really helpful against bears, but so will a human companion, especially if he's just some vagabond not really attached to like one of the villages, because then we can kind of just use him as bait. Okay, well, it occurred to me that it doesn't do us much good really to have this guy cut down logs at the other side because, well, I'm not going to be building a cabin at that side. I'm going to be building it here. So we've returned. Yeah, check the traps. But, yeah, like I said, this way, if I order him to cut trees, it'll be more useful. Not that it won't be totally useful at the other side. I could use it for, like, firewood for now. But so what I'm going to do then, while he's working here, I'm going to look for a spruce tree. And I think I'll set up a little shelter. Even though we are going to build a permanent, cabin here, it's good to have a shelter too, even at your cabin site. I sometimes like to have multiple shelters, and maybe I'll put like my different trade goods at them just for organization. But for now, this will allow me to sleep here and just pass a bit of time while this guy works. in the background chopping trees. And again, any trees he fells here will eventually be used for our cabin. So it's very important. And we're going to need dozens, maybe even hundreds, just depending on how big you want to make it. You can get ambitious and build a pretty big log cabin, but which is fun. And I've done it before, but it does take a lot of work and resources. So either way, like I said, let me go ahead and get a little shelter built. There we go. We'll grab our spruce twigs. I only need 3 of these, so I'm just going to move 3 there. And kind of slide it over here. I think roughly about this was the location I wanted to maybe build the house. So we'll put the shelter right here on this cliffside. Yeah, that's a good spot. I like it. Okay, overlooking the ocean. We'll do skills, B for building, and S for shelter. I need to stop moving them. Yeah, if you have the supplies being moved, then it won't be counted as materials available. There we go. All right, we got that whipped together real nice and quick because we do have a decent building skill. So let's have a little bit of food, and like I said, I'm just going to kill some time, wait around here. I might even help him just fell trees. Another thing I can do is the trees that he fells, I need to turn these into logs. So that essentially means stripping them, yeah. And the byproduct is we'll get a bunch of branches, which I can then use for fires and stuff. Maybe even some traps, too, down the road. So it's all good. Win-win. And I've still got to get home and check that skin in a couple of hours. But once it's done, we're getting back out on the hunt. Well, the small bull elk is now a thing of the past, fully processed and completed. So we're out here in our hunting grounds, but it's early evening. We are weary. Oh, and Anno is talking to us, so that means he's hungry. Oh, and he'll only be working for 2 more days. That's interesting. I gave him some food, but I'll deliver some more to him. There we go. I've got a few, so we'll just do 11 more pieces. All right, that's good. 2 more days, that's plenty of time for us to get something. I've kind of come down here to where the mountain ranges are. Kind of hoping to find a bear. I don't want to sacrifice the guy, but I definitely want to get a bear kill because their skins, their furs, as you might imagine, are very valuable. And, of course, anything else we come across, he can definitely help us with. Like a nice pack of reindeer. I'm actually still shocked we haven't seen more reindeer up here. Ooh, this is something we haven't seen at all yet. A pig. And pigs can actually travel in packs too. They can also get aggressive, so we might end up in combat here, but let's see what we've got. Oh yeah, pack of pigs. They're staring at us. They're not aggressive now. They're going to be more skittish until we actually attack them. But yeah, so what we want to do is give him an order to attack. We'll just do this closest one right there. There you go. So he's going to start heading off. Now, he doesn't have range, so he's going to get... Oh, my God, he's very slow. It's probably because the snow. I imagine the snow is really deep here. Yeah, thigh-deep snow. Dude's trying to wade through snow. Oh, yeah, I don't think he's going to catch it. I might be better off just trying to zero in on one of these pigs myself. Wow, look how close this one is to me. Let's go ahead and grab an arrow. I mean, he's sprinting away. But I did hit him. Her, it's a sow. Suffering minor puncture in the hip, so it wasn't a great shot. I'm going to focus on her. Oops, I forgot to re-wield my spear. So I wasn't skiing there for a moment, but that's okay. So we've got one of them slightly injured. Doesn't seem to be impeding her movement, though. But she is slightly fatigued, so let's continue here. Now, the interesting thing about the pigs... Oh, I can actually keep up with her pretty good. Is that their skins will turn into leather. They don't become pig fur. You get pig leather out of it. Wow, she's very fatigued already, so... This was a chubby pig here, and she's let me literally get right up in melee with her. Alright, so let's do it. Let's try and finish her off. Blunt to the legs. Now, I do need to be cautious. Because if there's pigs behind me close enough, they could get aggressive when they see me attack their fellow piglet here. But I think we're far enough away that it won't be an issue. But just, I do need to be aware. Alright. She's trying to attack me, but she missed. I'm just knocking her down till she loses the ability to walk. Well, despite being slowed down pretty easily, she is a fighter, that's for sure. She's not going down easy. Okay, there we go. Now she's unconscious. So we'll do point to the neck and a couple more of those. Wow, she got a thick neck too. All right, we've done it. And I was actually able to pick her up, but no, she's too big for me to actually like lug around. Ooh, 250 pounds. Yeah, that's a big pig. Wowzers. All right, well, our buddy is still off chasing the other one. I have no idea where he's at. We are cool though, so yep, time to set up another fire and repeat the process. Yeah, as I've said before, when you're in a survival situation, sometimes it gets like boring. You're just repeating the same things over and over. Luckily for us, though, we're getting to do some fun hunting, but really that's what survival comes down to out in the wilderness, is just doing the things that you know you can rely on, which will give you food, water, and shelter, and avoiding the unknown. That's why I think repeating things, and also I think one of the reasons we have this desire to choose the same parking spot every day or the same seat in a classroom each day that we return. It's because we expect things to work out the way they did if we follow the same course of action we did previously, you know. Although it might not truly be the way reality works, you know, it's one of the tricks I think we do to our own brains. But either way, maybe I'm totally off base, but we are getting hungry and thirsty, so before we dive into the pig, let's dive into some lunch, and I guess it'll be a nice change of pace from all the elk we've been eating, right? Some nice juicy pork. So, of course, we have to skin it first, get that leather, and butcher it up. Sweating a lot. See some bones. Hey, we're able to actually carry all the meat at once, so that's really nice. I'm considering hunting more right now, but with our penalty and the amount of weight, could be tricky. Although I don't want to give up, and I am definitely going to mark this position. Pigs. Yeah, we'll come back here. There's no guarantee that the herd or the pig group, I don't know what you call a group of pigs, but there's no guarantee they'll stick around the area, but it's possible. Certainly, definitely. So, yes, we've accomplished quite a bit. Let's see. I do want to backtrack a bit. Let's just go into stealth. Maybe I can find our friend. Okay, here's some tracks. I think these are the pig tracks, right? Oh, why? Yeah, okay. Pigs are everywhere. I don't necessarily want to lose our friend, and it is possible to lose him when exiting from the local terrain to the world map. If he's not close enough, then we'll just basically depart ways with him prematurely, but I'm kind of on the hunt for a friend. Well, regardless, I think I will go ahead and get back home. If I were to encounter the pigs again right now, it would be a challenge to down another one with our endurance penalties. So we'll return here for sure. Let's see. We've got a bit of a hike to get home, and yeah, we're pretty much officially without a companion now, but we are with a whole bunch of food, and the leather will be useful. Probably use that more for handicrafts than I will trading, but ultimately maybe we'll just trade some of the handicrafts away that we make, right? So we've got another processing, a couple of days worth at least, and then it's back out on the hunt. Like I said, it's a broken record, but it's a fun broken record, and of course, soon enough, we'll be able to take a break from all this hunting and get down there and do some trading. Don't you doubt it. I definitely want to make that a priority before the spring thaw so that we can just skate right over the ice. So it's going to be coming up. You can count on that. But thank you for tuning in once again here with me in the Unreal world. It's always great to spend time in this wonderful game. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you enjoy the content, and I'll see you all on the next one.